In this video, we are going to talk about ways that you can adapt your dressing routine so that you can be as independent as possible. The learning objectives are listed above. We're going to discuss some difficulties you might have while getting dressed. We'll explore different options with pieces of adaptive equipment that might help assist you, or also options for adapted clothing, as well as the resources for where you'll be able to find these things. To start out, your ability to participate and help with getting yourself dressed will look different for you based on your level of injury. As we talked, the higher up on the spine your injury is, then the less functional movement that you'll have. Having an injury in the C-spine, you'll likely need total assistance with things like bathing, dressing, grooming, but you might be able to help in terms of positioning, where you could shrug your shoulders, bend at the elbows, or bend at the wrists. As we move down into the spine, going into the thoracic area, then you'll likely have the ability to use your hands and fingers more effectively, meaning that some pieces of adaptive equipment might be appropriate for you. Being able to get yourself dressed involves having adequate range of motion, muscle control, coordination, balance, and much more. There are several pieces of equipment that can help you to complete these skills. This piece of equipment is called a reacher. This is used to grab items that are out of reach, but it can also help with getting your pants on. To use this, you have to have enough strength in your hand to be able to grip this black handle and squeeze so that the end of this will be able to wrap around whatever it is that you're picking up. I'm going to demonstrate to you how I would use the reacher to get on a pair of pants. So here's my pair of pants. I would put them the front facing out so that I know they're oriented the right way. Then I would grab my reacher. I would squeeze this black handle here and hook it onto the inside of the pants so that I'm squeezing right at the top. Then I can use this to take the pants down to my foot, thread my leg through, and pull this reacher up until a spot that I can grab it with my own hands. Then I can let this go, put this back down, and continue pulling the pants up with my hands for the rest of the way. You can do the same thing with the other side, picking up the reacher again, holding the top of the pants, and using that until you can reach it with your hands, and pulling the pants up. Then, when you go to stand is when you would finish pulling the pants up the rest of the way. This next piece of equipment is called a sock aid and looks like this. As you can see, the two ends of the rope are separate. So again, you will need the grip strength to be able to hold on to these. But if that's challenging for you, then something that we can always do is tie these together at the end, so that it would look like this. To use the sock aid, we're going to take our sock and put it around the hard plastic shell. I'm going to use my legs to help hold the sock aid in place, roll the sock up in my hands. I'll work the sock up as high as I can around the shell. Just like that. And then using the ropes, which we have tied at the top, you toss this down to the ground. Place your foot in the sock aid. It helps if you point your toe and pull up on the ropes. That'll let the sock shimmy up, and just like that, you have your sock on. Another piece of equipment that we have is shown here called a button hook, where this end can help you grab onto zippers and pull, and then this end can attach onto a button and help thread it through the hole. For example, if this is my button-up shirt, then what I would do is I would find the hole for the button on this side. I would place the button hook through that hole so you can see this metal piece is going through that area. I would find the button on this side. I would place the button into the thicker area and then slide it into the thinner spot. so that it has a better hold. And then when I pull this back towards me, I can turn just a little bit. It'll thread that button through the hole and release the button. And you do that for the other buttons as well. And then to use this same piece of equipment on a jacket for the zipper, you would always make sure your zipper is down at the bottom of the jacket. Place the zipper into that structure. You can use this gold hook on the end to grab onto that zipper and pull up. And there you have it. Make sure to go to part 2 of this video if you'd like to also see different options for adapted clothing and also talk about resources of where you can find these items.